Oh, hey, what's up? If you don't know, my name's Travis Dunn, and this is MyDunnLife. That's where I take you on my adventures on 2 wheels, or 4. Today, it's a 4-wheel adventure.
Right now, get 11% off.
Turn out the radio. So today, we're gonna be taking my 2018 Hyundai Elantra Sport. We're gonna be taking it to National Trail Raceway and see what she does on the track. But first, we gotta get her cleaned up, get her fueled up, and then we'll do some final checks before we take off with the boys. All right, so National Trail Raceway is our local drag strip. It is a 1/4 mile NHRA drag strip. It's about 40 minutes from where I live, and I've been there a handful of times, both for regular car shows, and I've actually had some of my own personal vehicles there. My favorite being what I used to have when I was a lot younger. I had a 1988 Mazda RX-7, 2nd gen, non-turbo, but it was tuned up. It did run pretty good. It ran 16.51, about 90, I think it was 92, 93 miles an hour. In today's standards, you know, that's not fast, but it was fast to me. At the time, I could pretty much hang with most 90s Fox bodies, relatively stock. I could hang pretty well with them. In fact, I beat several of them back in the day. But notoriously speaking, that trip to National Trails was an interesting one. So, first time I'd had it out to the track, you know, this was the first year after it was built. And I say built because literally, I literally kind of built this car. I originally bought an 87, and the 87, I put a clutch in it. I knew the clutch was about to go out. I put a clutch in it. A month or so later, all of a sudden, I'm driving and it won't go in gear. I'm thinking that something happened with the clutch again. Unbeknownst to me, some bolts had loosened on the transmission, leaked all the fluid out, and blocked up the tranny. So, at the time, it was like middle of winter. Parts were pretty hard to come by with that car, and so it got pushed to the side. I went and literally bought another car, and so a year later, I come back to wanting back into that car. So I find one with a blowed motor, but a clean body, relatively clean speaking. And I had my first big credit card, and I maxed it out. So I had well over $3,000 in parts.
After you put about 15 grand in it or more, if we have to, overnight parts from Japan.
So, you know, I went through the gambit. I put shocks on it, put aftermarket shocks. I replaced some bushings. I put upgraded brakes on it. I put wheels and tires on it. I had a whole custom catback exhaust. It was big, it was loud, it was obnoxious, and I loved it. But we, you know, we went through the gambit of putting it together, me and my stepdad, and I drove that car everywhere. I drove it in the winter. I mean, I loved that car, and I missed that car. It's that car that I wish I'd never got rid of. But it was a situation of, you know, my girlfriend, now wife, got pregnant. I I had already bought another car as a daily. It wasn't being driven, and it had some value, so I sold it. I really sold it too cheap, to be honest, but that's how me and the wife bought our first, or we put down for our first apartment. And I moved out of my parents' house. That's how that kind of went down. So, but that car, it was funny. First time at National Trails, where, you know, I'm lining up next to this. I know it was a Dodge Omni. Like, I had a family member that had a regular Dodge Omni. But it was some old dude, kind of a scruffy, silvery beard, you know, polo. I mean, he looked like he just got out of the office and came to the National Trails. Unbeknownst to me, this was the GLH, which was uncommonly known as the Goes Like Hell. If you're not familiar, this was a version that was built by Carroll Shelby for Dodge, or Plymouth, or whatever the hell, you know, whatever division it was. But it was one of his specialty projects, and it definitely was tuned. And he literally just went right on by me. I wish I still had the footage. I know we took an 8mm camcorder to that track that day, but I don't know whatever happened to the footage. I wish I had footage. I really do. Otherwise, the car ran almost perfectly consistent. 16.51, 16.53. I mean, it was within a couple of tenths every time. And I abused that car, and I loved it. One of these days, I want to get another rotary car. Maybe when the kids are out, you know, I'm not paying for their stuff anymore. Maybe I'll get an RX-8. And I know RX-8 is kind of the redhead stepchild, but I'd love to have a little bit more modern, easier to find parts for a car. There's actually a version of the RX-8 that I want that I cannot find. But I did sort of find one, and it kind of pisses me off. So even when I was looking for this, when I was looking for my last car, I had a 2012 Chevy Sonic Turbo hatchback. And even when I was looking for that car, I was looking for one of the last year model RX-8 R3 package. I could not find one nowhere. Nobody had them. None of them were available for sale. So it was kind of a situation where, you know, I just kind of had to make a choice, and, you know, I picked the next car on the list that fit the price that I wanted to spend. But God, I hate people. Double line, passing a school bus, God, man, and doing it when there's cars coming the other way. Just doing it like Grandpa passing it. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, so what I recently found, I was just randomly searching on Facebook Marketplace. I know you shouldn't do that, but anyway, so I was going through Facebook Marketplace, and I found a 2010 or 11 R3 with a manual, which is another thing that I specifically would want, in the color that I want, which was blue. I really love the Mazda blue. For some reason, they're always low numbers. Like, I don't know why. You look at a lot of second-gen RX-7s, and they're reds, they're whites, they're silvers. You can find some blues. You can find some blacks, but blue seems to be that odd color that they did make, but they didn't make a lot of. And even in the RX-8s was the same way. Well, and most of the blue ones that I found, for some reason, all ended up being automatic transmission, which I absolutely refused to buy. But I found one, but it had been wrecked. In fact, they only wanted like $6 grand. And hell, it'd probably be $5 or $6 grand worth of body work. technically was drivable, but I wouldn't want that mess. I don't have the time or the energy for that kind of thing. Anyway, we're at my first stop, which is getting the car washed. So I'm gonna flip the car around, or camera around, and you can see me go around and wash it. And we are at National Trail Raceway, and I'm here racing my 2018 Hyundai Elantra Sport. Gonna see what it does on the track. It's the first time I've had it out to the track. In fact, it's the first time I've been to the track in quite a while. First run, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it without doing a burnout, just to see what she'll run. Take it. Oh man, only ran 16:07, 89. I think I got a little more into it than that. I only ran 16:07.
Pretty bad. Oh, your rack?
Yeah, my rack time set.
I'm surprised. Today was about the best one I've got in a while. 0.011.
No, really?
Yeah. And I ran and my time was slow. I only ran a 15.5 at 88. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, I gotta get back.
Alright, man.